Hello, it is Monday, August 17. Caroline Leavitt will be departing her role at the end of the month as White House press secretary so that she can spend more time with her beautiful young children and family. Until an official appointment is made, top officials within the communications team are expected to handle press briefing duties. Taylor Swift and Lyle Lovett and others to be inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. Swift is the youngest writer ever to receive the award. Oh man, this is a story. An Italian woman threw away what she thought was a losing lottery ticket after a store terminal told her it was not payable. A family member quickly realized the mistake. The ticket was actually worth $1.16 million. By the time she ran back to the shop, the trash had already been collected. The director of the local waste management company located and stopped the truck, then took it to a specialist facility because of contamination concerns. Workers spent more than a day sifting through over 6 tons of waste. Among the mounds of garbage, they found the ticket still in one piece. Boy, that's a happy lady. Tennessee passed a law. Now, this is kind of a little bit close to my heart because I camp in my truck, in the back of my pickup truck with a camper shell on it. Tennessee passed a law that if you camp in your vehicle on public property that has not been specifically designated for camping, can carry a punishment of 1 to 6 years in prison and a fine of up to $3,000. Can you imagine being in prison for sleeping in your vehicle? I kind of consider myself a conservative, and Tennessee is a very conservative state, and I guess that's a conservative action. I don't know, but my son reminded me, Dad, you're more of a liberal. Not a liberal, a libertarian. And I thought, yeah, maybe so, because I don't like government imposing themselves on us for stupid things like sleeping in a vehicle. I mean, I understand, people work hard, they buy a house, they don't want somebody out on the road right in front of their house sleeping in their car and leaving their underwear out the window or whatever. It's a difficult situation, I understand. But if you're respectful and you just climb in the back of your truck and you sleep and you don't bother anybody, next morning you get up and you leave, well, there's no discernment there. If you're sleeping in your truck, you're 6 years in prison. Remember Luigi Mangione? Well, he pleaded guilty to federal stalking charges in the 2024 killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. He's set to be sentenced on December 18 and can face up to life in prison. Mangione said he was motivated by years of struggling to navigate the health insurance system while suffering from severe back pain. Prosecutors claim he was never a United Healthcare customer. Mangione's defense team has filed a motion to have murder and weapons charges in a separate state trial dismissed under New York's double jeopardy law. The state trial is currently scheduled to begin September 8th. I don't know what's going on. He pled guilty to stalking. That doesn't give you life in prison, I wouldn't think. So is he going to walk on the murder charges if they drop it in state court? I don't get what's happening there. All I know is the guy's worth $1 million, and usually those guys don't do a lot of jail time. President Trump claimed on Friday that he will soon make the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory. Trump did not elaborate on how he would make the critical shipping lane a U.S. territory, considering that Iran and Oman share jurisdiction. That's pretty interesting, man. That whole thing is just fascinating. Sometimes I think Trump says that just to mess with the mind of the enemy. I don't know. Maybe he's going to do it. We'll see. According to the FBI's annual report released on Friday, in 2025, murders were down 18.1%, robberies down 18.5%, and aggravated assaults down 7.2%. That's fantastic news. I have a difficult time with criminals and affecting me, wanting to hit me or steal from me. I don't like that. Law enforcement agencies are increasingly involved in protecting data centers through two distinct mechanisms. Physical security, they're actually standing at the gates with ARs. So they have physical security contracts and surveillance of opposition. You know what that means. If you put a post on Facebook to saying that you don't like these data centers, you're being surveilled. And who knows if they might harass you or something. I don't know. You know, I see some videos of what the police are doing nowadays, and I don't know where they're getting these guys, man. They're turning over some rocks. Portions of southeast Indiana are underwater due to the White River rising record-breaking levels. Flooding caused at least 7 deaths and 300,000 went without power. Wow. I understand Hawaii also had a hurricane or something, but it messed up some people. It killed one, and there's a bunch of people, a couple 100,000, I think, without power. Oahu was affected gravely. The latest Spider-Man film passed $2 billion worldwide, making it the fourth biggest domestic release ever. Now, I consider this important news. The Italian government has been shutting down illegal mosques. Muslims are using large commercial buildings for religious services in spite of zoning codes disallowing it. They're not assimilating, they're taking over. And Italy is pushing back. In protest, hundreds of Muslims are collecting around the Colosseum on their knees in prayer with loudspeaker blaring Islamic music. Boy, you spend money to go over to see the Roman Colosseum, you know, as a tourist, and have to deal with that. In other Islamic news, Islamic communist Abdul El Sayed clinched victory after bringing Hassan Piker, who has claimed America deserved the 9/11, along to his campaign stops. When asked, Arkansas Democrat U.S. Senate candidate Haley Schofner has failed to disavow Hassan Piker. Fellow Americans, it's time to vote. Most of us don't vote. I think there's a large number of Americans that do not vote. We need to vote, not for who we want to represent us. That's the old way of voting. Now we need to vote to keep America from being taken over. I'm going to vote, and it's not for our representatives, it's to keep certain representatives out. That's the news for this Monday. Have a great week. If you push the like button, I appreciate it. And if I get more subscribers, that'd be cool too. God bless America. God bless y'all. Swift is the youngest writer ever to receive the among the mounds of garbage. Mangione said he was motivated by years of struggling to navigate the health insurance. Flooding caused at least Haley Schofner